Good morning, everybody. Christina with On Point with Christina, and I thank you for joining us this morning. Once again, I thank everyone who came over from PMA US TV to On Point with Christina. And this is my first official interview as On Point. I know many of you saw the Cindy Bishop interview, and that was when I was transitioning over. So as you can see, I'm in my favorite place outside with the sun on my face. And the ocean is right over there, and we'll be doing things from the ocean soon, so just stay with us. So this morning, I have Mr. Dan Lehman, who is Dan the Bike Man. This is going to be a great interview. I have my friend Carol. Carol, pronounce your last name for us.
Lanoli.
Lanoli. Isn't that wonderful? And she's from France, and she's well-traveled. I asked her to sit in with us this morning to make this a little more interesting, like I'm not interesting. But seriously, everybody knows I just have fun on my show, so we're going to talk to Dan. I found him at a Starbucks one day, talking with someone else, and of course I interrupted, but I'm so happy that I did. So Dan, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you, Carol. And you've met Dan?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome, yeah. So we're at the beautiful Casa Marina as usual. I love this place. It is over here on the beach at 6th Avenue North in Jax Beach, Jacksonville, Florida, Jax Beach. So you stop in here. We're going to do a tour of this place one day so you can see more about Casa Marina. Anyway, so Dan,
Yes.
now here, I don't even know where to start with you because I went to your website, I saw your little blog, and you talked about what got you into biking. That's what I want to know. He rides a bicycle, not a motorcycle. A bicycle, everywhere, more than everywhere.
Yeah.
So, good morning. So, what made you want to decide to jump on a bike and just go crazy?
I started years ago. Always liked bicycling, even as a kid. But my first bicycle trip really was when I was about 16 or 17 years old. I lived in Berlin, Germany for a little while.
Okay, you were in Berlin. So in Germany, people ride bikes a lot there, right? Is it?
In Europe, they
in
do
Europe.
it now, especially more, yeah. But back then, so I was high school, 16, 17 years old. Summertime, I took a bicycle ride. I liked bicycles back then, too. Took about a 3-week trip. Switzerland, France, and Germany.
Oh, see. Okay, now, see, explain to some of our American viewers who have never been to Europe. You know, it's a little easier there to hop on a bike or in a car or on a train and go from one country to another. Am I correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so going from Germany, where did you go from Germany?
Switzerland.
To Switzerland. About how long did that take you?
Well, here's what I did. I actually started in Switzerland. I lived in Germany, but I started in Switzerland. I had gotten a ride down there with a brother of mine was driving a vehicle down there. So I started at my grandmother's. Okay, so I started in Switzerland and rode up north, and right along the German-French border, Alsace-Lorraine, and then headed in towards east. Wanted to go to Berlin. At that time, though, that's back in the days when the Berlin Wall was up.
Okay. And, we know what the Berlin Wall is. You guys do your research.
East Germany and West Germany, so you couldn't actually ride a bicycle. From West Germany to Berlin, there was a stretch you could not.
Okay.
But back then, you took the train on a designated route, you took the highway in a car on a designated route, or there were air corridors.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so I tried to. I thought I was allowed to do that, but when I got to the border, there were all kinds of folks telling me, no, pointing guns at me, telling me, no, you can't do that. Okay. So I wound up getting a ride on a gravel truck from there. They gave me a ride on a gravel truck from there back to Berlin, which was pretty.
So you threw your bike on there and just said, I'm going back.
That's it, and got into Berlin, and so that was my first taste of taking a bicycle trip.
So from that you fell in love with biking?
With the allure of a long-term trip.
Okay.
Of thinking that was fun. I enjoyed it. Okay, and then I moved back to the States shortly thereafter, and I always remembered that I had a nice trip. So then I used to always think, well, one day I'm going to ride my bike cross country.
Beautiful.
Okay, just like everybody says. Anybody rides a bicycle, yeah, that's a big dream. I'm going to ride a bike cross country. Okay? So I always thought about it. Thought about it for many years, and then about probably 7 or 8 years ago, I had some time from my job. I had a temporary layoff from my job, and I said, I can't ride the bicycle cross country. I was scared. I didn't have the heart, the gumption to do it. So I said, well, maybe I should try a shorter trip. So I thought that I would ride from New Jersey down to South Florida.
New Jersey to South, and now I was a truck driver, so I'll tell you, New Jersey? What part of Jersey?
North of Princeton area.
Okay, north, that's about close to New York, Cosette. So that is about, I guess, 1,300 miles.
Down to South Florida. I think
Well, it's more than that, yeah.
15,
Yeah.
15
Right,
or 16.
Right, because once you hit Jacksonville, you got 391 to Miami. So yeah, I could get that, about 15, you're right.
Yeah.
And how long did that take you?
It was about 3 weeks.
3 weeks of bike riding, you got that? Try this in a snowstorm. What month was that? When did you do that?
September and October.
September, October, so it was a little chilly.
A little chilly.
But you know what, I think about it, and that must have been great because the weather is such that when you're riding and you've got the adrenaline going, your body's warming up, you don't need as much clothing.
Correct. It's nicer to ride in the cool weather rather than being 90 degrees. That's tougher riding.
Right. Are you relating concerning the European thing that he did?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because you've been to Switzerland and Germany and all that, so you know how that would have looked.
Yeah,
absolutely. Wow. So you rode down there first. This is the first trip.
That was the first trip.
Long trip.
Yeah, to see if I could handle it, if I liked it. It was about 3 weeks, about 1,500 miles. It was at the time I was living down in South Florida, down by West Palm Beach.
Boynton Beach, yes.
Okay.
So tell people, those people out there who are watching, who are into biking, who are even thinking about this. Now, how did you handle the trip? Did you stop here and there? Did you get a motel room? Did you hang out?
I'm a motel guy. Okay?
Gotcha. I love it. Yes.
On all these trips, there are a lot of people do this and they camp, and a lot of it has to do with financial considerations.
Right.
Obviously, it's much more expensive staying in hotels. Okay?
Right.
When you're camping, it's a different deal. You need more gear. You're heavier. You get more flexibility because you don't have to get to the motel. If you had to, you could camp almost anywhere. People do camp in campgrounds.
Right.
But you get a lot more flexibility when you are camping.
You have a question here?
No, I'm just saying they're the ultimate freedom of camping. But then again, I'm one of those people that I like to sort of say at the end of the day, I can go for it, but then I need a little bit of the shower, a comfortable bed.
Yeah.
I'm a comfort.
Yeah. So did you
seeker.
stop every night? Or did you sometimes just feel like just going and say, hey, I'm going to stop when I feel like it?
No, I would stop on that trip there on the East Coast one. I would stop. I'd stop every night. And back then it was a little different than it is now. Now we have the technology, we have the phone, we have the computer. Okay,
make your reservations.
To make your reservations, there was a lot. But back then it was a little scary. Okay, you didn't have Google Maps on the phone, so I would cut out pieces of a Ray McNally map. That's it. All right.
Yeah.
And the route that I took was very close to I-95 in a lot of places. Okay. Which made life a lot easier finding motels because in general on I-95, in the area I-95 exits, there are always motels.
Now I have a picture of your bike from your blog with your big old thingamajigger on it, like a
bags.
Well, it looks like more like a cloth trunk or something. You had all your goodies in, all your stuff. It's strapped to your bike. You know the picture I mean?
That's the last picture at the very end. That's actually my suitcase that somebody sent me so I could take all my stuff off and send it back home.
Sweet. I love it.
That was the suitcase that I went out. Now I went to Seattle. Okay, so I packed my bags in the suitcase. I had a duffel bag that I put one of the big bags in.
Right.
All right. I traveled with a backpack. And then when I got out to Seattle to start, I took those things and threw them in the suitcase and sent the suitcase back home to somebody.
Gotcha.
Okay, and then that suitcase, then at the end of the trip in San Diego, they sent that to me in San Diego. That's the picture you're referring to.
Okay, let's talk about that trip across San Diego and where did you go?
Started in Seattle.
In Seattle, okay. Look on your maps, everybody, because see, people don't. I don't think schools really give an ecological look of the United States anymore or anything. Look at your maps, and Sacramento is north in California. Highway 80 runs across there, east to west. You know, your even numbers run east to west. Hello, ex-truck driver here. Sacramento is way up north. So did you ride down the coast first?
Most of the trip was down the coast. Okay, starting with Seattle, I just pretty much headed west and got to the Oregon coast, and then down Oregon coast into the north.
Okay, you went from, I'm sorry, I said Sacramento. Yeah. That's California. Seattle's Washington. So you went Seattle to where? First,
little west and south in Seattle. I actually went north the very first day to Bremerton and Seattle, just because on the first day you never know how it's all going to work out because you show up at a bicycle store, hope the bicycle's there and ready. Okay, and then start riding. Well, when I showed up at the bicycle store, the bicycle was not ready. Okay, so I had to come back in an hour and a half or so to get the bicycle.
Gotcha.
And wind up with story time. Maybe I didn't start until 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow.
Okay, so then you got to try and figure out where am I going. Basically, look on the map, and right before that, get on a computer and pick a motel room in a place that I thought would have motel rooms, and that was Bremerton. I was up a
so you
little
had to
bit
go
west.
up. It's kind of like, Carol, it's kind of like flying up to Seattle and back down to Hawaii.
Exactly.
But I only went up that much. Okay?
Yeah.
Not that much. So that was how I started out on the first day. And then from there, it was pretty much, going south and west.
Wow.
Until I got to the coast.
Okay, I was going to say, because I'm just speaking to those who have not explored their map. You can only go so far west until you have to jump on a boat in California, okay? And I'm not making fun of you because I'm just laughing with you because schools nowadays, I find a lot of them don't really let you look at a map and say, this is east, west, north, and south. I meet so many people who do not know. So we die for lack of knowledge. So I'm not making fun of you, but for those of you who don't, knowledge is power. Really look into where is what, and when he's saying Seattle, look it up. See where it is. And this is what my show is all about, enlightening, encouraging, and empowering. So now you're being enlightened about different parts of, say, California or the East Coast, and perhaps you might think of going there someday or jumping on a bike. I don't know. I don't know what your thing is. Do it. Go for it.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, so he went a little bit west, and then did you go down now? Highway 99 and Highway 5 run north and south in California. Did you go?
Further north, starting, let's say, in Oregon. Okay, after going from Seattle and heading west and south, and you went to Oregon, let's say Astoria area, okay, and heading down. Most of the trip was down the coast. Most of the trip was either Highway 101.
101 is beautiful. 101's along the ocean.
Or 1. Okay?
Yeah, or 1, right.
Sometimes the 101 goes a little inland.
Yes.
The 1 is usually by the ocean.
Right.
Okay, but almost all the trip was along the coast, so a lot of it was on the 101 or the 1, and then there was a spot in California where I went inland for a while because around the Monterey Peninsula.
Yes.
After that, going south.
Isn't that fabulous?
But I had to stop and go east there because in that area and heading south, Big Sur, and then further south, San Simeon, there are not that many opportunities for motel accommodations, and the few and far between there can be very, very expensive.
Did you get to explore Lake Tahoe?
Did not.
Oh, Lake Tahoe is the most beautiful. It's very eclectic. It's small, but the water is literally turquoise. It's fabulous, absolutely fabulous. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're out in the sun. It's really hot, so we're going to go kind of get some water and cool off a little bit, and we'll be back with you in a few moments. Take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Thanks for that little break. I needed that. Oh, it's so hot. But what's it, like 97 today, I think it's going to be here. But the humidity in Jacksonville has been like horrendous this year. Anyway, we were talking about Monterey, and we're back with Dan the Bike Man and my friend Carol, and we were talking about his bike trip. And now we have come from Seattle down to Monterey, and you're going in from Monterey a little bit and back and forth. And you said you went through some interesting agricultural areas.
By having to go inland from the Monterey area, I had stopped in Seaside.
Seaside,
and then headed east towards Salinas.
Salinas, oh my goodness.
And then south down the Salinas Valley.
Wow.
Which was great. It was such a learning experience because you see all the different things that are growing.
Yes.
All the amazing amounts of water that they use that they need to do that.
And I was a truck driver, as everybody knows, and guess where I used to pick up that produce you're eating? The peppers and the apples and a lot of that stuff came out of Salinas.
Out of that area.
Absolutely. I used to have to pick up like 8 different places and load that truck and get it back over to New York Market. So I know what you're talking about.
One of the places I wanted to go to was Watsonville.
Watsonville is wonderful.
Because we get that's where we get all our raspberries and strawberries here, right? And our local stores here.
Yes.
They always come from
Watsonville. And Watsonville's like a little tiny street, and it's very eclectic. It's tight. It may have grown by now. I don't know.
But I mean, the area is gigantic. They have acres and acres and miles and miles. You ride down the road, and they got strawberries over here.
Right.
They're just growing all kinds of stuff.
In
particular, lots of strawberries in that area. But it's cool to look at that.
Here's something I want to share with my audience also. In enlightening you and encouraging you. The reason I met Dan is because I heard the word Watsonville. He was sitting at another table at Starbucks, and I'm talking to someone else, and I heard them talking. And I said, what do you know about Watsonville? So this I'm saying to you is travel. Enjoy and learn things and embrace all this because you never know who you're going to meet. And it becomes an empowering conversation. and in an intellectual conversation as we ended up having, just simply because I had opened up my life and moved around and done some things. So be encouraged, do that. So now, did you get to go through any of the wine country?
Yeah.
Oh, I used to transport wine too.
Yeah, I mean, in that area, getting a little further south, after Salinas and King City, and then you're going down the valley, then they started having lots of vineyards.
Right, now did you go to Tulare? Did you go to Fresno, any of that?
No.
No?
Further south from where I was just saying, I went to Paso Robles,
Okay.
which is a wine area.
Yes, yes.
When I got home, I drank a bottle of wine from that area just because I saw it on the shelf.
I love it.
I said, I got to check this out because I had been there
Right.
and ridden through there, yeah.
So then you went on down to where before you started heading east?
Straight down, so Salinas, King City, down to Paso Robles, and then towards the coast again. Then I went to San Luis Obispo, okay, and then right down to the beach area, Gold Beach.
Gold Beach.
Okay.
Wow.
And then along the beach, and then inland a little bit to Santa Cruz.
Let me grab my towel. It's hot.
It was,
Santa Cruz.
And those areas, I mean, lots of stuff going on in that area. It was really very interesting. I like to see that. You saw the pictures.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to. Do you mind if I share some of those pictures on my when we?
Absolutely.
Awesome. And I'm going to connect to his blog.
Yeah.
And you have a website or no?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to connect to his blog when we're finished with all this, so you guys can see what he's been doing and be more encouraged. Now, when did you start heading east over this way from California?
That was a separate trip.
Okay.
A few years ago.
Tell me about that trip. Let's talk about that trip coming back east. What month was that? When did you start that?
Okay, it was about 3 years ago. I did it in the spring. Left San Diego in early March, March 7th, 8th,
Okay.
9th, around.
Another good time of the year to do that.
You have to, because what happens is 2 days out of San Diego, you're already getting to the desert.
Yes.
Can't cross the desert in the middle of the summer.
Yes.
It's just too tough, too hot. So
Right.
you do it then in March. So it's only 85 or 88. I mean, the sun beats down on you.
Oh yeah, just like now.
It's like now early
A little different though.
Yeah.
Here we have all this humidity, moisture. There
Right.
it's dry.
Right.
And then there in the desert at that time of year, in the morning, sun's coming up like this.
Right.
The wind is blowing at you. And it's cool in the morning.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
You know, and this is why we did this morning. I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be nice and cool out, and we'll get this done before it gets hot. But this is Florida. I get the hot thing.
Oh my goodness.
So, okay, so you leave California and you say, I'm going to Florida.
I'm going to ride home to Jacksonville.
Okay.
That's what I do.
So now do you start off early in the morning while it's nice and cool, do you?
You try to get a good start, especially when you're going through the desert there. It's better.
Okay.
It's cooler in the morning. Plus, you like to get a good start just in case if you have any kinds of problems to give you more time at the end of the day.
Right.
My goal is to never be out there when it's dark.
Right.
I want to be home
Exactly.
at the motel before it's dark.
Exactly.
If there's ever a day that I get there and it's dark, that means I made a mistake, I had a problem. Okay. So you like to get a good start. Some people start early. The campers start even earlier. They get up earlier. Okay. But
Absolutely.
I like to get a good start. So you can hopefully start early and finish earlier.
Right.
It's just safer.
Exactly, I can understand that.
When you're out in the desert,
yeah, you have
you're
lights.
25, 30 miles from nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay, you'd rather be out there in the light rather than when the sun's going down.
Exactly, and if for you, those of you again who have not traveled, please hit the desert. It's another experience. How many times I've been across Highway 10, across Texas, 880 miles by the way, on Highway 10, and they don't have street lights on the highway. There are none. It is black.
Right.
As you go through, the only thing you have is the lights on your vehicle. That's it. Unless the police pull you over, then you got the blue and red.
Texas in the car, in the car, how long is a 12-hour day?
Well, you got to realize back then, truckers, we had to do 55 across there. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Now it's like 65, I think, in the daytime and 60 at night or whatever.
It's even like, but my point was with the bicycle, Texas is a big state.
It is
huge.
huge.
Over 2 weeks.
It is huge.
Over
And
2
there's
weeks.
nothing
2 weeks,
out there.
I
So,
think.
so when now looking for hotels and stuff, I know what it's like going. What were you on Highway 10?
10 to start with,
Okay.
and then in West Texas, but then afterwards went south.
Okay, so you went
Rio
south.
Grande a
Okay.
little bit.
Okay, so that's good. That was a good break because even that part of 10, there's not that much out there. Where did you sleep when you had to really plan that part?
You have to plan to find the motels, because some days you had to ride 70, 80,
Yeah.
90. Once in a while, I had to be 100 miles to make sure that
Can
you
you
would get
imagine
to the
that
motel.
on a bicycle? OMG! Okay, so you and the snakes and the scorpions and all that, you got a long break.
Gosh.
I'm so sure. That's amazing. So now bring us over past Texas, because we'll be all day getting through Texas.
Okay, so
through
Texas,
Louisiana.
into Louisiana. As a matter of fact, that's where I got my first flat on that trip. I got just after I got into Louisiana. If I finally get out of Texas, I sent a note to a friend of mine. I said, with a picture of Louisiana, welcome to Louisiana. I said, Groundhog Day is over.
So did you stop in Shreveport, or where did you go?
No,
did you go down around?
No, I was up a little higher, and
Okay.
purposely didn't want to be down. Didn't want to be down too low until later on.
Right.
Didn't want to take the special trip to New Orleans. I didn't want to do that either.
Right,
Okay.
gotcha.
And then down into Mississippi, and I remember going through Kiln, Mississippi, which was made famous by one of them football players there, Mr. Brett Favre. Okay. And then down to Biloxi, along the beach. And,
No, I've been to Biloxi, but of course with the truck I never got to go down to the beach. What is their beach like? Is it like ours, like here, very
Well,
close
they
in?
had a bad hurricane years before that.
Right.
So a lot of that stretch of the beach, past Christian to Biloxi and beyond, was the beach, and then they rebuilt sidewalks and the road along there, and then on the left side, a lot of places, things there were nothing. There was
Right.
a lot there, and the wind was blowing so good that the sand was coming over the road and it was taking apart the lane.
Oh my goodness.
In spots.
That's serious winds. That's like 40-mile-an-hour winds.
Right, that I was riding into as a headwind.
Oh, my goodness.
The whole day.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Now, you know what? I didn't mean to cut you off, but now we have these cams that you could put on your body, or you
Yes.
didn't have one of those.
No, I didn't. On purpose. I'm not the real big advertising type.
Oh,
of guy.
okay.
Here I
He's just a
am.
fun kind of guy.
Here I am with you. Okay.
He's a fun kind of guy. But you know what?
I saw guys go by me in cars when I was on the Oregon coast. Saw a couple of guys go by in Corvettes, brand new Corvettes, out having fun riding together, and they had the GoPros or whatever mounted up by where the mirror was.
Yes.
And they were doing that. So I did see people doing that.
Yes.
Yeah. But did
Wow.
I? No, I was content to stop and take my old school pictures, even with
That's cool.
the old school camera. I didn't even like using a cell phone.
Freeze frame. I love it. Okay.
The old school camera is actually better in most situations than the cell phone, because when you're out in the sun, the cell phone is hard sometimes with
very
the glare
hard.
to see.
Right.
Whereas the older camera in the back has the big display that you can see.
I really
better.
didn't think about that. Yeah.
It makes life a lot easier.
Frustrated with that.
So let me ask you this now. So you're in Biloxi.
Yeah.
So that's a ways away. So now you came across. I'm just thinking you came through Alabama, and then we're coming on over. To
in Alabama, what I did is I went down south of Mobile.
Okay.
The Dauphine Island, and then from Dauphine Island took a ferry over to the last strip of actually there it's still Alabama, around like Gulf Shores, and then ride into Florida. What's the town? Perdido Beach.
Okay, I've heard of that.
And then from there you ride up to Pensacola.
Okay. Oh, I feel a breeze. Nobody move, I feel a breeze. Oh, thank you, God. So now you're coming into Jacksonville, and you're calling in, you go, I'm on my way. And then you arrive in Jacksonville, and what do? Kiss the ground or something?
You know what I did? It was actually pretty cool. I worked in the airline business at the airport.
Okay.
So when I left, I left from the airport on my airplane, and I told them, coworkers, who I used to send them postcards or an update, and they had a map, and they would check out
where you
are
are.
on the map. I told them, I said, listen, I'm starting at the airport, I'm going to finish at the airport. So when I rode into town, I actually came here through the beaches, local guy that took me through the beaches, went over to Mayport Ferry, over the ferry, and then up a little bit and towards Main Street, up Main Street, and then I rode into the airport. Like you would drive to the airport with your car on that road, okay? I went to the airport, I rode right up to where the departures are, went to the ticket counter where I worked. I worked over there, okay? Well, somebody came out, took a picture of me at the ticket counter.
Yeah.
And then I had my badge. I actually worked outside as well.
Right.
I had my badge. I went downstairs, took the bicycle, went out, rode across the ramp to where I work. And I finished the trip outside on the ramp.
I love it.
At gate A4.
Now, who would you like to say hi to out there with your coworkers? Anybody special that took your picture or somebody? Who do we have?
Well,
you ever say their whole name or just say
I wanted
hi,
to say my
Sally?
picture back then was Jay, but as a matter of fact, I can say thank you for this past trip I just took to help me out getting my bag back and getting my bag to me, right? So I have to say thank you to Jay. I call him the doctor, all right?
Go, Jay.
I have to say thank you to Renee, because Renee helped me out with that, and also Miss Trish, thank you. I appreciate your help, because it's a lot easier dealing with the bags the way I did it. people ordinarily would have to do. So.
Okay, I have one more thing to ask you before we wrap up this hot interview. At the end of your blog, I noticed you said there was a gentleman who had passed on that you gave a great big Mr. Something L, his last name?
Marty.
Marty, okay. Tell us a little bit about Marty and why he was important to you.
He's a unique guy. Okay, I worked for him for a lot of years in the bar business when I was young. Probably worked for him 12 or 13 years. But he's just one of those people you meet in life who is extra special, extraordinary, unique. There are people that love him. There are people that don't love him. Okay, that a tough personality. Okay, special entrepreneur. He's the kind of guy that can make anything work. Maybe not today in a digital world, okay, but any kind of store. He was in the bar business, restaurant, a little bit of catering, but he could open a real entrepreneur. He could open a candy store. He could open a deli. He could open anything and make it work. Why? Because he was a hustler. He knew how to deal with people. He knew how to treat his help. He was a motivator.
Awesome.
The kind of guy who would get the best out of you. Okay?
So he was important to you because he pushed you, he believed in you. Is that what I got from that?
Yeah, he was just a unique, extraordinary guy.
That you're glad that passed through your life.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I was sure he had an impact on me. But as I wrote, especially when it came to these long trips. Okay, when I was on these trips, he thought I was insane. When I rode cross country the first time, he said, "And are you carrying a gun?" No, I'm not a gun guy. He really thought I was insane because he was a man who'd been in the service and always had his guns. Okay, but he would check in with me when I was on cross country a few years ago, every day. All right? How you doing? What's up with this? What's up with that? And if he saw bad weather way ahead, he would call me on the phone, leave a message if I didn't answer. Hey, be careful with this bad weather. So every day he checked in with me. Now, I'm thankful that all the folks who were following me on this trip here weren't checking in with me every day, okay? Because I can't have a couple hundred people doing that, okay? I don't have the time. But he checked in on me every day. He worried about it. He loved it. And after it was over, wrote me a real super nice note.
That's awesome.
That's just great. You can't imagine that you did that. And then after that, I took another trip a couple of years later, up north, Maine to New Jersey, same deal. He was there with me the whole time. So,
that's awesome.
So he was gone, and then he passed away, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months ago.
Well, you know what? He was a blessing in your life. And let's just mention that real quick also about people being a blessing in your life. I want you to understand this. Please embrace what I'm about to tell you. We're not here forever. So if there's someone that's in your life right now and you're not sure why they're there, take a moment and just think about it. Like he said, he didn't even realize why this guy was in his life really till someplace halfway through when he realized that he was his biggest fan, for example. He was encouraging. So look around your life right now and see who's encouraging you. Even if you don't like them, it doesn't matter, because sometimes when a person is negative, you can turn that into something positive. The people who are negative in my life, who have done things or said things that were condescending or negative to me, I love them. I am so happy because all you did was make me stronger and make me want to push forward. So you're a blessing in my life, however we turn that, okay? So that's awesome that he would mention someone like that. And God rest his soul, I just wish I'd met this man because I'm an entrepreneur and I need your help.
He was a special guy as well. So like I said at the end of the blog, that when I was riding, I had the tough days. And I said, all right, boss, what are we doing? They called him the boss. He was the boss.
The boss.
He was the boss. All right, boss, what are we doing? So on those tough days, the headwind, the 20-mile-an-hour headwind, you just got to suck it up and do it. Okay?
Good for him.
That's the only way you're going to do it. So, boss, what are you going to do? Come on, Dookie, you can do it.
It's the connectiveness, it's the teamwork.
What do they call you, Duke?
Duke. That was my name back in the bar.
I love it. So, Carol, have you enjoyed this?
I've loved it.
Awesome.
Only because I love free spirit.
Yes.
I think you epitomize a free spirit.
She does.
I am very free, thank God. But I am going to actually sit and introduce Carol one day and chat with her. She is my new friend here, and I love her because she's that free spirit. She's well educated. She's articulate. She's been there and done that. I love it. And I asked her to sit in. In fact, today I officially asked her to be my co-host for a while, so you may be seeing a lot more of her. Do you have anything to ask Dan before we leave?
Did you enjoy the trip?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And you feel that you've gained something from it within your innateness?
Oh, you gain a lot of things. I mean,
Yes.
that's one of the biggest things you get. It's a goal that you set. You accomplish it, so you have a sense of accomplishment. But the ride itself, I think, was a little bit tougher than I expected. It was even prettier than I expected.
Okay.
It was even prettier. I knew it was pretty. I'd ridden in a car many years ago, parts of that.
Did you get caught in rainstorms?
No, not much rain, and a little bit of luck, but also the time of year. Okay?
Yes,
that was a positive part of being there in the summertime.
Right.
That they in that particular stretch, in July and August, they get almost no rain, not much.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's the upside. The downside was it was very busy. Okay. It's vacation time.
Yes.
A lot of cars on the road.
Yes.
The folks who put out the maps that I use, Adventure Cycling, they don't recommend doing it in the summertime because it's so busy. Lots and lots of traffic.
Yeah.
But the upside is that time of year, no rain.
Right.
Almost no rain, and the days are long. That's a big deal. The days
That
being
is so
longer.
true. Absolutely.
Because you're getting an extra 2, 3, 4 hours.
Right.
If you're doing that trip in the fall later on, I always tell people, 3 o'clock, you look at the sun's over there,
Right.
and you get a little nervous. But the way I did it, I mean, I had some tough days where I screwed up. I didn't get until 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
But it was okay.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem.
Right.
So that's a big deal.
So that you had lights on your bike and stuff, right?
Yes, you got to have them. I have lights that I use all day in the back, flashing red
Right.
that you see usually.
Right.
Okay, I have a couple of them.
So you didn't do the Facebook thing, follow me, I'm going here, there, and stuff that people
No.
do nowadays?
No, didn't do any of that. I did the blog, told a select group of people, which I
Right.
could see it expanded.
Now the whole world's going to know.
And then so I just did the blog, but
Yeah.
and then I tried to do a good job, tried to get a lot of pictures and
Yeah.
write. I tried to get it done every night, which was hard too because places you need Wi-Fi to do what I was
Right.
doing. Okay?
Right.
Sometimes in the fly-by-night motel, the Wi-Fi wasn't as good as it should have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? And I just want to thank God for his safety because he was covered. His angels were with him. That's a long trip and a lot of moving around alone on a bicycle. And we have people in town who don't even survive on a bicycle crossing 3rd Avenue. So how many miles have you done? Just generally speaking?
1,700 on that
1,700 on that one trip.
trip. By the thousands, yeah.
Yeah, and thousands of miles. So we just thank God for your safety, and we pray that you will have safety in the future. You're going to do this again?
I said this was the last one.
Yeah, right. That's like me saying it's the last time I was going to drive a truck. Now I'm getting ready to buy another truck. Yeah, right. That stops somewhere. But what we need to do, I need to get a round table of a bunch of us who have traveled, because a lot of, especially the young people out there, want to know about all these places and what they were like. So when they travel, and Carol is European traveled, and we need to encourage more people to do that, to just enjoy the world, generally speaking. Not by bicycle, okay?
That's my limit. I wouldn't do that.
So anyway, can we get together again sometime and chat?
Sure.
I'm sure there's more to him, and of course Carol will be with me. And I really want to thank you once again for joining me on Point with Christina. We are here to enlighten, encourage, and empower you to transition well, enjoy your life. God bless you, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much. Thank you once again for joining me. Awesome. Thanks, Carol. Okay.